And actually, most people had their, what we called it, like alarm suitcase, like survival suitcase sort of. So I prepared, I think, like a day before that. You're supposed to have like food, water, and documents in that suitcase. So most people have had it for a couple of weeks before it all happened. In my case, it was a bit weird because I just muted my phones and I woke up at 8 and seen like 25 missed calls from my mom, my like ex-boyfriend, and my clients asking me like, is that right? Like, has the war started? By the time I woke up, I just looked outside. I was like, how would the war look? You know, like I had this question in my head, how am I supposed to understand if it's actually happening already here or not? So I could see people with suitcases, like calling taxi, living by car. My family was in Kremenchuk, in the central part of Ukraine, and my boyfriend at that time, he was in Kherson. I got super lucky because I couldn't get a ticket to him. Otherwise, I would have gone probably to that location that is still occupied and now is part of Russia by like referendum. The same day, I was able to buy a ticket to my parents' place, and I was just like lucky because my train was still okay. Everybody was like quite scared. Now when I'm trying to remember it, there was constant scrolling of news, like every news channel you could get online, right? And sleeping for 3 hours and waking up being afraid that you like missed something crucial happening, not going to bed because you're just like afraid to miss it, right? And then falling asleep for a couple of hours, waking up again, like being super terrified that, I don't know, like nuclear weapon or something was used, you know, and you just missed it, or somebody dear died. And after 2 or 3 days, I started volunteering just to like put that energy into something. So my brother, he has a like semi-truck, you would probably call. So we did a lot of sand bagged, like transportation around the city, building, how do you call it, like military posts. So Odessa, I left 24th in the evening, 10 p.m. and I arrived with my cat. I still have a picture of my cat like in her box, you know, next to me. Like I couldn't sleep whole 17 hours because she was waking me up. Like her terrified eyes in the train. I arrived with my cat the next day, or like in 17 hours. I got to Kremenchuk, my hometown. My aunt invited me to stay in their apartment that was kind of empty at that moment in Dnipro, another town with like 3-hour drive from Kremenchuk. And since then, I was staying in Dnipro right until I went to Canada. I had always wanted to leave Ukraine, and not because I didn't like Ukraine, because I wanted to explore the world, you know, like meet more people, I don't know, have some international experience of living and working. But when the war started, I was like, no, I'm not leaving. I'm not going anywhere until the war is over. I want to know that I didn't like run from it. I left when I contributed, you know, like when everything was safe. I had many opportunities to leave to Moldova, like nearest places. My brother was pushing me out. My mom, like lots of people proposed me to leave. And for a long time I refused to leave, up until my aunt and uncle told me like they are kind of my like role models. So their opinion was very important to me. They told me, believe us, we know how it's going to be after, even when the war is over. We will not have a very stable future, you know, like economy is going to be broken, like, and this is not the life you want to live. And the first like application date was the day when I got my visa, and you could only apply if you have visa. So I remember that moment on the train Vienna Budapest. I was like filling out the application. I was able to send it, while later I learned that most people couldn't by some like error in the system or something. So I went through the system and I was like, there is no way I'm gonna get the ticket. I just applied just like in case. And next day we were having dinner with my aunt and uncle on the west of Ukraine, on the border with Hungary. It was like a day of train ride from the place I was actually staying in Dnipro, where all my things, my cat was. And I'm getting an email like, here's a ticket, here's your hotel booking for 2 weeks or as long as you need to stay, and the flight is 5 days later. You know? So that's how I learned that I'm going to Canada in 5 days.